Contemplating nothing but escaping, finally making it. Oodle lolly, golly, what a... Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails, folks. Today is the second, this is the second video in the Core Teams mini-series that I'm making for GAC, because we are all transitioning to GAC, whether we like it or not. I personally like it, but I realize that there are a lot of people who are just not that familiar with GAC or don't want to, haven't been trying, but they want to give it a go. And so this is kind of designed to try to, we wanted to make baby steps a little bit, guys. And that's not me being like condescending and like you don't know anything, but I put out a video for offense and defensive comps every single GAC season, because this is the type of thing that people need to stay current on, and it's a thing that is constantly being updated. Now, there's going to be a few teams. I know that on my offensive teams video, I actually excluded a couple new characters that are going to, or that they're not new characters, but they're old characters that have Omicrons that are going to be useful, but we don't have many Omicrons yet, and I don't think that it's wise to advise people to put Omicrons on characters yet until we know more things. And so, that being said, if you want to see the offensive teams video, you can find it in the video description, and you can, there's two distinct sets of teams here, so there's not a lot of overlap. Keep in mind that when you watch me online, I'm going to end up putting a lot of these on offense. I'm going to be changing these comps. I tend to mix things up quite a bit, and sometimes I'm just really boring and put these exact teams down. But one way or another, a lot of these teams are good on offense or defense, and it's worth realizing that I'm just trying to split these teams up, and a lot of these teams will go on defense. Some of them should just be on defense forever, but for the most part, there's that. There's also the fact that we're not using Galactic Legends at all. Galactic Legends do alter quite a few things in the greater scheme of things. So I'm going to be showing you guys as many teams as I can for this, and then we're going to have another Galactic Legends video coming out pretty soon as well. I'll be putting out a video for my alt accounts as well to show you guys what teams I'm using for those, because I only have one Galactic Legend between the two alts, and it's not a huge part of my plans, frankly. So I can show you guys all of that stuff. There's all sorts of resources. You guys can listen to me rattle them off in that on the offensive video. But the one thing I do want to point out that I didn't in the offensive video, guys, if you could leave a like on this video or even the offensive video, any of them, folks, I would really appreciate that. We're trying to mount the algorithm, trying to grow the channel. I want to reach as many people as I can to help people, and because I'm greedy and would love to get more clicks, and I would just love to be able to, I would really appreciate, I should say, I would be honored if you would click the like button today, folks. Would really appreciate that. Helps us mount the algorithm, and we can all tag team it together, folks. Hop on the algorithm together. I don't know what I was saying. I blacked out for a minute. That being said, I think we should just go talk about defensive teams here, and I can. We're going to do it, guys. At some point, that's going to happen. Whoa, we're in the game? Madness. How'd we get in the game? Alright, guys, we've got Darth Revan and company. Now, I have Darth Talon here, and gosh, okay, so this is like the little Sith corner here, okay? I don't know what we want to do. The thing is, Darth Revan currently constructed, and you put HK in there instead of Talon, and what happens is people use troopers to get a 60 on your Darth Revan team. It doesn't matter how fast your Darth Revan is, as long as they have a decently fast Piet. If they're in the same stage of the game as you're just going to take one up the something, and a shoot, I guess, is the thing. Like, oh shoot, is what you're gonna say when that happens. And so my Darth Revan's relatively fast. He's 345. He's not the fastest one out there. I realize that, but they're like my Piet. You guys saw that in the offensive teams video. He's at 339 before the plus 20 from Veers. So he's going to be able to go, and then he'll just run the table on your Darth Revan team, and you'll be a sad panda. However, if you put Darth Talon in there, now granted, she's not even released yet, but I don't even know. I think she's just going to be good at 3 stars, frankly, because it just increases the speed of your Darth Revan team. And what's going to happen is she's going to, as long as everyone are Sith on her team, it doesn't even matter if they are Sith, I guess, or it doesn't matter if they're all Sith, she just gives everyone plus 20 speed, which immediately makes it so that even my Darth Revan would outrun even mine, all these evens, like Even El the Eternal. If you guys know that reference, would love to hear it in the comments, folks. I bet some of you will, actually. You're a bunch of nerds. But that being said, Darth Revan is going to be faster than Piet, and therefore you're going to outspeed them. Now, then you have like Zam, who is going to have her, if she has your Omicron, she's going to make it so the bounty hunters destroy this team, but they can only destroy a certain number of teams. So this team could be on offense, it could be on defense. I would say that the lower your level your account is, the more often it should be on offense, because you can split this team into 2 different chunks. You can have Basti and Darth Revan just beat teams for like 63 banners, and then Malak can get 64 banners and solo another team. But the higher you get, the less likely that scenario is going to play out. Now, the other part of this, guys, is Darth Talon is designed, if she has her Omicron especially, to go with a Traya team, especially if Traya is the lead. However, if you don't have Talon, Talon's going to need relics if she wants to hang with Traya, because people just kill her, and then nothing good happens, really. But for now, I do really like the Darth Maul lead here, just because this team is just so ridiculous to kill, and they're just coming in and out of stealth, and you're trying to kill a Relic 7 Sith Empire Trooper. This team will get you a lot of holds for people who don't know how to counter this team, and it's an old team, but it checks out. Like, it still is just really good at stealing banners. The teams that, like, you could maybe bring troopers to beat this, but your troopers are going to whittle themselves down into little toothpicks by the end. Well, I guess Traya wouldn't, because it's not Traya lead. But the thing is, if you get enough misses, Darth Maul is going to get a turn. He's going to daze everyone, and then you're just going to die. So there is that for troopers too. I wouldn't take troopers against this. There's different reasons. If it's a Traya lead that you want, which is pretty good too, troopers will maybe run the table on the Traya team, as I was saying, but they're going to destroy themselves in the process. Now, General Skywalker is one that I think he is going to end up on offense a whole lot moving forward, because you can use Zam now to most likely get the drop on this team and nuke them with bounty hunters pretty easily. You can also beat it with Commander Luke teams. You can also beat it with any number of other teams, like a Padme team with Cat probably does it, just because as long as Cat can eventually do the AoE, or not the AoE, the killing move on Skywalker, he can't revive. He doesn't even kneel down. He just dies, and it's kind of funny because Cat just destroys her old master, even though she was talking him up at the end of season 7 to Maul. Maul is like, I'm not impressed, dude. You just got punked by your old Padawan. And General Skywalker is like, because he's dead. He can't say anything. So, otherwise, this team is really good. You want, if you're going to put him on defense, make sure your Rex is way faster than mine. He needs to be like 310 or so, because the faster he is, you need him to be gaining that extra turn meter or extra speed based off of I think it's unique. Yeah, he gains 4% speed for each 501st, so he gains 20% speed at the start of the match. And if he's at 310, there are very, very few Aura lead bounty hunter teams right now that can actually one-shot this team, because you have to outspeed them with with Gideon. Gideon has to be like mine is 377, and I can only outrun, I think it can outrun like a 310, or maybe 310 out, like, is right in that range that this team becomes impossible for bounty hunters to beat. And otherwise, though, bounty hunters get really good banners if you know what to do against them. So this is a team that you want on defense, kind of, but it's also one of the very few teams also that it counters Rey teams as long as there's not Cat. It can actually also counter Rey Cat teams sometimes. It gets dicey AF, but it can work as well if you're desperate. Now, Geos are a team that I just like to put on defense sometimes because I'm lazy and can't think of another team on defense. I think this is a good team for offense, though, as well, because they finish off almost all the Galactic Legends. If you fail to kill them, you're like, oh shoot, like Rey is just left alive. You just spool up Spy and let him or her or whatever Spy is, go to town. You just do a big hit and call it a day against almost any Galactic Legend. They're great for finishing them off on offense. On defense, they can also steal banners. I'd advise, like, if you have a smaller account, you want to put a lot of tenacity on that Brute Alpha if you can. You also, just because then Vader will go in, and if it's a smaller account, people won't know to put a ton of potency on their Vader. Even if you do, the Brute Alpha actually just gives himself, and maybe everyone else, I forget, a bonus amount of tenacity. Maybe it's his unique, yeah. Brute Alpha has plus 60% tenacity, and as a decently high base, oh, that's not decently high, so, well, it's okay. So it starts at 110% tenacity, and then you can increase that tenacity by 100 and something like that, and make it so that Vader can't stick his debuffs and then just get stuck. So this team isn't great on defense. It does require a team that can specifically beat it, and traditionally, if you can't beat this team with any, like, if you don't have a specific counter for it, that's where the power is, because it will you can't zerg this down. Other teams, you're like, man, I'm just going to use like 12 teams to beat this. The Geos, that won't happen. You'll kill that Brute, and then every time, so even if you don't kill the Brute is resummoned every single time that you attack. So if the whole team is almost dead, and you just like almost red, you're like, oh man, they're all in red, I'm gonna just go in there and punch them. That doesn't work that way, because instantly that Brute with full health and protection is summoned in, and he health shares with the whole team, and then you're screwed. So another team that I actually really like on offense, but sometimes it's good on defense, Nightsisters can really punch up above their weight. They can actually, one of my favorite counters with Nightsisters on offense is to take out Geos. You get a 55 or 56 with that counter, but it is pretty consistent, I would say. Nightsisters are also really nice on offense because if you need them to, they provide a really sketchy counter to Jedi Training Rey teams, to Commander Luke teams. They punch way above their normal value. And on defense, they just die to Troopers, they die to Bad Batch, they die to basically anything that's good, but they can also present problems. If this is your weakest team on defense, then people are going to try to use their weakest team on offense against them, and sometimes that just isn't enough, especially if you give your Spirit enough speed and enough offense. My Spirit is probably okay. I keep robbing it, though. Yeah, 279. Remember that you get plus 30 speed, though, with Asajj or Talzin Lead. I like Talzin Lead better. Asajj can be good as well, though. Now, because we're not doing Galactic Legends here, we can use the crew team with General Hux. Remember that Hux shuts down any turn meter gains, and so there's a lot of teams, like this team will shut down any Commander Luke team that tries to beat it, for the most part, as long as you put enough health on your crew. It'll also shut down a lot. It'll shut down the Nightsisters team because they can't gain turn meter. It'll shut down the Jedi Training Rey team because they can't gain turn meter, etc. Now, this team isn't a world beater necessarily, but it can get a lot of holds if you modded them right. And then you also have enough characters to kind of make a secondary team with like Phasma lead. It's not that great, but it can be okay. Make your crew, or make your OG Kylo pretty fast, and he'll be good at sports. And what he'll do is he'll use, no, not outrage. He's lash out and give everyone 25% turn meter, which is probably enough to go first. And then he also, if they have advantage, they'll also gain another 25, which adds together. It's additive. He gives them everyone 50% turn meter. He just goes and goes, keeps gaining himself 50% turn meter. And that alongside, if he's fast, alongside crew's base plus 30 speed from his leadership, is going to make it so that everyone's going to take a lot of turns. And I mean, I like this team okay for offense too, because they have okay banner recovery, but for the most part, this team is going to be better on defense. And a lot of times it's going to be better fragmented with Hux, going with your Supreme Leader Kylo if you have him. We're just not doing Galactic Legends right now, and therefore that's what's going on. So we also have a Padme team. Remember, no Galactic Legends. So General Kenobi is here to just totally usurp this team. Actually, you can just scoop it up and just leave Amidala with some clones or something like that. But at the base level, Padme with Ahsoka is just really strong. I mean, Padme with normal Ahsoka is great. Padme with Cat is even better. On offense, this team is great. You just don't get a lot of banners. You can get 55 pretty easily. And I see people say like, oh, well, just gonna get another 55, and then they go in and they're incautious. They're not careful, and they end up winning, and they're like, wow, that was a conclusive win for like 51 banners. So you got to be careful with Padme. I do like her on defense, actually. I know that there are a lot of teams that can counter her, but you can also do sneaky things like take the other Ahsoka out of this comp, so that people just assume that Cat is your Ahsoka, like your Snips character, and then it's like, oh, surprise, Snips just one-shotted someone. It's kind of fun. It's not always going to work. Remember, too, we have Qui-Gon Jinn, and I'm curious to see what's going to happen. I think he's going to be on offense, but Qui-Gon Jinn and Jedi Knight Anakin seem like built together. If Qui-Gon Jinn has his Omicron, if Qui-Gon Jinn dies after everyone boosts all their stuff, like, Anakin's going to do an AoE that one-shots the world. He'll literally, like, be a one-man Death Star. It's going to be really cool to see that Omicron in action, but if that happens, then I don't know. I mean, we'll address that at some point. I'll do a video on Omicrons for sure pretty soon, as we have knowledge of the rest of them. Now, on defense or offense, I love Jedi Training Rey. I actually love her on offense because Finn is able to heal the team, and so is BB-8. And so you can also get a ton of turn meter. BB-8 at, over 300 speed is going to be obnoxiously fast, and unless you have a way to shut down bonus turn meter, he is going to go first, and he's going to give a ton of turn meter to everyone else. And the thing that cracks me up, guys, is people still run a really fast resistance hero Finn. Now, if you're running a team with Finn on like a Jedi, or on a Rey team, on Galactic Legend Rey, then you still want him to be fast, but you can see mine is not that fast because I plan on generally putting him with this Jedi Training Rey team, because even if he's 340 speed, even if he's significantly faster than that, like some people get him up to 350 something, and it's impressive and all, but it's ultimately misguided if he's going to be with Jedi Training Rey, because what happens is BB-8 is still way faster than him because of all of his bonus turn meter, and he'll go, R2-D2 is going to get the same amount of bonus turn meter, he'll go, in the middle somewhere, Jedi Training Rey is going to go once or twice, and meanwhile, eventually, your like super speed resistance hero Finn at 350 speed is going to go 4th on the team. Sometimes he'll go 5th because Jedi Training Rey will get 2 turns in between that. And so don't make it, if he's going to go on your Jedi Training Rey team, you can make him kind of slower. Now, one cool trick though is if you're going to make him whatever speed he is, as long as you get your resistance hero Poe to within 1 speed of hero Finn, even on defense, what happens is Finn is able to pass the turn to Poe. Poe takes his turn, and then because it's a shifting turn meter thing, then immediately hero Finn gets another turn. So that can work. It doesn't work as well with Jedi Training Rey, but it is a cool little synergy thing, and I recommend trying it sometime. I've never done it, but I hear it's great. Now, on defense, we have Commander Luke. I do think that his days on defense are starting to ebb just a little bit, but this is a team that if you don't have the right characters to beat it, people are going to need to use like a Galactic Legend to beat, and that is just super cool. But, I mean, this team can be beat by a number of different Jedi teams. I do think that its versatility on defense can be really good if your opponent's not if it's going to surprise your opponent if they're not expecting it. But otherwise, he's going to make you struggle. I mean, your opponent can beat this team, frankly. I mean, there's a lot of different teams that can beat it at this point. And, like, I know that the new Dash Rendar team is supposed to be able to do it. I know that, like, Bando can do it with the right modding and everything. Commander Luke on defense also for sure wants as much tenacity as you can get, because General Grievous is going to try to march in and debuff them to hell. And if they have a ton of tenacity, you're not going to actually have that happen. Instead, you're just going to stand there while they try to debuff you and you shoot them to death. It's gruel. It's gruel. It's gruesome. My 3-year-old the other day just told, there's a picture of like a cat kissing a dog, and he's like, there's a cat kissing a dog. It's kind of gruesome. It's kind of funny. Made me laugh. So here's another team. I don't know. This team is pretty silly. Like, if you put the Omicron on Rose, then this team becomes marginally better. I mean, there's some interesting stuff going on here. Rose's Omicron is not the one that you want to care about, honestly. Like, it's not the one you want to apply, but this team can do a lot of things. Like, Veteran Han is way better than most people give him credit for. He is way tankier. I want to get him to Relic 8 at some point and just make him super tanky. Or, I mean, at that level, he's super tanky and does a lot of damage. He has an AoE ability block, an AoE stun. He does a lot of crazy stuff, though. He's a really cool character. We also have the Scav, which she can be really fast if you want to. Like, I think I have some speed mods on her, but she's not, like, 116 is not that great for what I have available, but she's already 300 speed. You can give her a little bit more, and it's better. So, you know, if she's going first, then the whole team, it can... This isn't like a paragon of virtue team, but one thing that I did learn in the last 5v5 is that sometimes you just need, for offensive flexibility, you need a place of more filler team, and this team is a decent filler team if you can get the speed right on Scav. They're going to throw their very worst team at you possible, and you can steal a few banners. Veteran, Smuggler Han with Chewie, those two will do a lot of good, and Rose Tico, she's not good, but, you know, even with the Omicron, I think she's going to make this team a lot better, though. Now, here's a team that I threw in here just for fun. I mean, here's the thing about this team. It can really surprise people if they're not ready for it. Paplu his kit gives him an extra 25% speed on top of everything. Is unique. He gains 25% speed when he doesn't have taunt. He doesn't start with taunt, therefore he's plus 25 speed. My Paplu, 236 speed. Not super fast, but at the same time, he's gaining over 50 speed. If you make him fast enough, he's going to go and start that turn meter train, and people aren't going to realize just how many turns Ewoks can take. So, I mean, that's a team that I love to put on defense on my alt and on my alt's alt, which is Prevail Man, and it's just really good because it surprises some people. Will it beat a really good player? Not really, but it's still really good it's good on defense sometimes. Now, I promised you guys the Grievous team that's good on defense. This is the team that I really want to try, at least. Now, to make it work, I mean, you kind of want T3 to... T3 is a waste if you don't have him relicked and Zeta'd, essentially. But he's giving armor piercing to people. He's got that dispel thing going. IG-88 makes it so that if they're target locked, they can't heal. Probe droid makes it so they can't gain buffs, I believe, if they're target locked, and he does all of them target lock things. BB-8 gives them all 40% turn meter, which 40% is a lot of turn meter. This whole team gains 40% turn meter and is basically guaranteed to take the first 5 turns unless there's some kind of reactive turn meter mechanic on your opponent's team. And so this team can steal a lot of banners. Now, like Nightsisters are going to be scared because they can't heal themselves from IG-88, and you know, there can be issues. This team could just run the table on Nightsisters. I don't think I'd want to take Nightsisters against this. I don't know. Like, I think the standard Jedi Revan team still beats it, frankly. I think you can just target Grievous once you finally get a turn and wipe him out. He's going to, of course, give mark to someone else, but as long as you've marked him, you can take him out. He doesn't really have a great way to heal, except for, I guess, T3 can heal him. Or is it T3 can only heal light side? I don't remember. Let's see. The repair kit. Let's see. If the ally is a droid, they recover health and protection. Yeah, okay. So it's just... Oh, that's right. He was the reason we have the neutral tag in the first place, because they wanted to give him neutral initially, but for some reason they didn't, and so we have a neutral tag that does nothing. However, if you want to use that Grievous team, remember, the BB-8 is going to make it so that your Jedi Training Ray team on defense or offense is significantly worse because they're not gaining that bonus turn meter. They're going to be way slower. So you probably want to put them on a team with like Ray and put them on defense, maybe keep them on offense, I don't know. But BB-8 is an important part of that team. But if you decide to use the Grievous team, then you can also do something with Newt or Dooku lead. I don't know which one you want to use. Generally, I like Newt lead better. You can put all of the other droids down. You can put Magna Guard here because you kind of want to tank. Count Dooku is potentially an odd man left out, but he also has his Zeta and Relic 8 for me, and it's very difficult to leave him out. If you get a fast Newt, you can immediately get extortion on people and start doing a lot of stuff. I don't know, this team isn't amazing, but if someone just throws some random bad team at it, they're going to lose. Like, Newt is a really, really good character, and like B1 is going to be pounding them the whole time and gaining stacks that he doesn't just get taken away if he's with General Grievous. He's still going to be healing people. He's still going to be giving everyone all sorts of cool bonuses and doing, causing mayhem. Droidica at Relic 6 is pretty good just because he does damage, and that's apparently good. And that's about it. So I think that's it. What kind of defensive teams do you guys want to bring? I want to hear. We're gonna figure out what we're gonna be doing. I'm gonna be talking about Galactic Legends in my next video, I believe, or at least it'll be pretty soon, and what kind of comps we're going to be doing. And so stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for the alt video that I'm going to be talking about the different teams I'll be using there. Go watch my Wheel of Time, or listen to my Wheel of Time podcast. It's linked in the video description as well. Lots of things going on in Zareth's corner of the world. So check them out, or don't, as you will. But I'm going to let you go. So guys, thank you all so much for watching. And remember that in all things, Zareth prevails.